Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So glad you're here today. In today's video, we are going to learn something very important in a web development, and that is HTML table styling using CSS. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to make your HTML tables look clean, professional, and beautiful, just like the ones you see on real websites. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. First of all, let's understand what does HTML table styling actually mean. When we create a table in HTML using basic HTML tags, the table looks very plain and ugly. It has no colors, no borders that look nice, no spacing, nothing. That is where CSS comes in. So CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets, and it is the language we use to make our web pages look beautiful. So HTML table styling simply means using CSS to make our HTML tables look better. And that is exactly what we are going to learn today. So before we style a table, let me quickly remind you of the basic HTML table structure because you need to understand the structure before you can style it. Okay, so let me show you. So first of all, what we need the table tag here, then we need the table row, and we need table heading name. Okay, then we use the table heading again, the age, and then we use the table heading for city. Okay, now I'm gonna sorry now I'm going to open up another row, table row, and I'm gonna write the table data for Ali. Okay, whose age is 25 and living in Karachi. Understand? Now I need to open up another row, and I'm going to write here the data for Sarah. Okay, the age is 22 and she's living in Lahore. Okay, so let me explain this very quickly. The table tag, let me show you. As you can see, the table tag creates the table. So let me open up a preview so you can observe the table too. Observe the code. Okay, so the table tag creates the table, as you can see in the preview tab. The tr tag, as you can see, means table row. It creates a row. Okay, here the th means table header. It creates a heading cell. Okay, by default it is bold and centered. Then we use the table data tag. Okay, td, it creates a normal data cell. If you open this in a browser right now, as you can see in the preview tab too, it will look very plain, no borders, no colors, no spacing. Now let's use CSS to fix that. Okay, so we are going to use the CSS. So let me remove the pre-formatted tag, and the very first thing we do is to add borders. So first of all, let me use the style tag, and I'm going to use cover up the table, then table heading and table data. Okay, now I'm going to use the border as a property, and I'm going to write here 1px solid black. Okay, so as you can see, we are selecting table, as you can see, table heading and table data all together. Okay, 1px here means the border is 1 pixel thick, and solid means it is a solid line, and black is the color. But you will notice the borders look doubled. There is a gap between them. To fix this, we use the border collapse property. Okay, so what we use here, inside the style tag, we are going to cover up the table, and here we are going to use the border collapse property, and we are going to set it to collapse. Now as you can see, when we set the border collapse to collapse, tells the browser to merge all the borders into one single clean border, as you can observe in the preview tab too. So no more double borders, just one clean line. This is one of the most important properties for table styling. Always remember it. And by default, the table only takes up as much space as its content. We usually want it to stretch across the full page. So if you use here, for example, if you use here width, okay, so width as an attribute, and you set it to 100, then you can see this makes the table take up 100% of the width. stretching from left to right across the entire screen. As you can observe this code in the preview tab. Right now, the text inside each cell is touching the borders, as you can see. That looks very cramped. We fix this with padding. Okay, so what we are going to use here, we are going to cover up the th and td, and we are going to use the padding as an attribute, and I'm going to set it to 10 px. Okay, so when you set this adds 10 pixels of space on all four sides inside every cell. Now your table looks much more comfortable and easy to read. Okay, so to control how text sits inside the cells, we use text align. So let me cover up the th. Okay, so I'm gonna write here the text align. Okay, so text align, and I'm gonna set it to left. Okay, so this moves the heading text to the left, matching the data cells. You can also center everything if you prefer. It is your design choice. Okay, now let us make it look professional by styling the header row. So for example, if you use here the background, okay, so background color, and you set it to, for example, hash 04 AA6D. Okay, so as you can see, and I'm gonna set the color, okay, color as a property, and I'm gonna set it to white. So as you can see, background color hash 04AA6D gives headers a green background. The hex code is the exact, okay, it is a green color, and we set the color to white, makes the text white, so it is visible on that green background. You can change those to any color you like: blue, dark gray, red, whatever matches your website. So this is one of the most important and popular table techniques, and that is zebra stripping. Zebra stripping means giving alternate rows different colors so the table is easier to read, just like a zebra strips. Okay, so if you use, for example, you use here tr, and you write here nth child, okay, and you write here, for example, even, and you are gonna cover here background. Okay, so background color, and I'm gonna set it to f2, f2, and f2. So if you use this, tr targets the rows, as you can see. Nth child even, it is nth child even targets every even row, second, fourth, sixth, and so on. We give those rows a light gray background. Okay, the odd rows keep their default white background. This creates a beautiful clean zebra strip effect. Understand? So now let us add an interactive hover effect. When the user moves their mouse over a row, the row highlights. So let me create a hover effect, and I'm gonna write here hover, and I'm gonna write here the background color, and I'm gonna set it to hash dd. Okay, so if the, as you can see the effect in the preview tab, tr hover targets the row when the mouse is over it and changes its background to light gray. This makes the table feel modern and interactive. Okay, so now let's put everything together in one place. So first of all, what we need here, the doc type html. Now we need the html tag, and here we need the head tag, and inside head tag we need the style tag. So I'm gonna cover up the table first, and I'm gonna use the width property. I'm gonna set it to 100%. Now let me write here the border collapse. Okay, so border collapse, and I'm gonna set it to collapse so that there should be no double lines. Okay, now I'm gonna cover the table heading and table data all at once, and I'm gonna set the border 1 px solid hash dd. Okay, and I'm gonna use the padding property, and I'm gonna set it to 10 px. Then I'm gonna use the text align property, and I'm gonna set it to left. Okay, now what I'm gonna use here, I'm going to cover table heading, and I'm gonna use here the background color. So the background color would be, for example, hash 04 AA 6D. Okay, and I'm gonna use the color property and I'm gonna set it to white. Now what I'm gonna use here, I'm gonna cover up the table row nth child. Okay, nth child, and I'm gonna set it to even, and let's add the background property, background color property, and I'm gonna write here f2 f2 and f2. Okay, so this will be the color. Now I'm gonna cover up the tr hover, I mean table row hover effect, and I'm gonna set the background color would be, for example, gray. Okay, now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open up the body tag. So in the body tag I need to open up the table tag. So inside the table tag I need tr table row. Now I need table heading name. As you can see, the fact we have already set the CSS for this table. Now you can observe the effect in the preview tab. Now I need the age, and I need here the city. Okay, so what I need to open up another table row, and I'm gonna write here the data for Ali, and I'm gonna write here the age is 25 and the city is Karachi. Okay, now I'm gonna open up another table row and I'm gonna write here the data for Sarah. Okay, age is for example 22 and she is living in, for example, Lahore. Okay, now I'm gonna write the data for Ahmed. Okay, I need to open up another table row. I'm gonna write here the data for Ahmed, and age is, for example, uh, 20, and he is living in Islamabad. Okay, now I need to open up another table row, and I'm gonna write here the table data for example, I'm gonna write here the table data. Let me write here the table data for Zara. Okay, and age is 27 and she is living in, for example, Peshawar. Okay, so if you copy this, I mean save it as a table.html and open it in your browser, and you will see a beautiful fully styled table with clean borders, a green header, zebra strips, and a hover effect, as you can observe in the preview tab too. Okay, so let's quickly summarize everything we learned today. We learned about borders, we learned about border collapse, and we set it to collapse merges double borders into one clean border. Then we set the width to 100. Then we use the padding attribute, then text align, and we set it to left. Then we use the background color and color properties, and we also use the nth child that creates zebra stripping on alternate rows, and we also use the hover effect for table row. These are the core CSS techniques for HTML table styling. Learn these and you can style any table like a professional. Alright, everyone, that is it for today's video. I hope everything was crystal clear and easy to understand. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow and motivates me to make more videos like this for you. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below, and I read every single comment and will try my best to reply. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss any upcoming videos. We have a lot more HTML, CSS, and JavaScript tutorials coming very soon. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.